Okay, Assalamualaikum. Alright, so I have to record this because this next week I'm not going to enter the class. So I'm so sorry. Okay, so today we're going to continue with Mesozoa trematode, which is the what is this? Trematodes adalah apa nama dia? Flukes, okay? Yeah, it's a flukes. Okay, this is a final chapter for flukes. So we have sekejap ya. Okay. Alright, so we have looked at the first part, okay, Schistosoma alaria species. The second part, we have gone to the Fasciola, Fasciolopsis, whatsoever. Then today we're going to finish these parts, which are the four family, okay, basically four species, 4 to 5 species. But among these four species, okay, usually that came out using other that came out during finals, selalunya lah, okay. Based on my observation, only 2 species which are Paragonimus and Chlorosis sinensis. Last semester, Chlorosis sinensis yang keluar. Cuba tengok soalan pasir last semester, okay. Alright, so we're going to focus on finishing these 4 species today. Okay. Alright, so as usual, learning outcomes include to explain their morphology, life cycle, pathogenesis, treatment, and prevention. So remember that this final part involve the flukes that affect ataupun infect intestine, liver, and lung. Okay, intestine, liver, and lung. Okay, 3 organs, site of infection. Okay. Alright, so okay, so the green font, okay, yang tulisan hijau ni is actually species that are medically important to human health. Okay, so we have first species is Dicrosolium dendriticum. Second, we have Paragonimus species. Third, we have Chlorosis sinensis and Opisthokis species. So these two affect the liver of the humans. And lastly, we have Heterophis, which also affect the same one for the small intestine of human. Okay, now we are looking at this 4 species, comparison of the species. Okay, tengok first by species. The first species is Dicrosolium dendriticum. Geographic distribution is at Far East Asia and Europe. Okay, host sheep, cattle, goats, and pigs. So these are the definitive hosts. And the location at the bile ducts of the host. Sizes 88 to 45 micrometers. So this is not so large. And infection can be acquired by eating infected ants. Okay, so dia boleh makan ants ni semut. Second species, which is Paragonimus westermani. So Paragonimus westermani affect geographical distribution at this area. So additional of Japan and America. Okay, and their host is human and cats. And the location of the adults is at the lung. And look at their size of the ova. So this is the size of ova. Okay, this is the largest, 85 micrometers. And the host can be acquired this parasite by eating uncooked crab. Right? So this is called Paragonimus westermani. Right, the third species is Chlorosis sinensis, or also known as the Chinese liver fluke. Right, so these are basically distributed at Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. Right, so it includes humans, dogs, and cats as their reservoir hosts, and the infection site is at bile ducts and liver. Okay, size of ova similar with Dicrosolium dendriticum, quite similar. Okay, and the infection can be acquired by eating raw fish. Okay, and lastly we have Heterophis, Far East. Okay, host is the mammals and also birds that eat fish. Okay, location is at intestine. So kalau tengok ini untuk bile ducts. Okay, ada 2 species dekat bile ducts, which are the first species and Chlorosis sinensis. one species at lung and another one species at small intestine, and these heterophytes can be acquired by eating raw or pickled fish. Okay, so kalau you tengok semua infection ni can be acquired by eating something raw. Okay, of course, and raw kan. Okay, ni uncooked crab, raw fish, and pickled fish. Alright, so the first is family Dicrosolidae. Species name is Dicrosolium dendriticum. This one. This is the parasite. Okay. So they have intermediate host. Yang pertama, first intermediate host is the land snail. Land snail ni siput kan? Siput atas darat lah. Okay. And the second intermediate host is the ant. So dia ada dua intermediate host. First one is the snails, second one is the ant. And lah semut. So their definitive host is grazing animals ataupun macam cattle yang makan rumput. Alright, so let's recap lecture on behavioral adaptation, host manipulation. So if you still remember the first lecture, chapter 1, we have discussing this behavioral adaptation about the host manipulation. So certain parasites have an ability to manipulate the behavior of their host. Why does the parasite do like that? Because it is to increase a species' chances of encountering new hosts, and it often influences an intermediate host in making it susceptible to predation. So maksudnya sekarang, this kind of parasite, Dicrosolium dendriticum, alter the behavior of the intermediate host, which is the ants, so that the ants have higher chances being eaten by the definitive host. Okay, so you ingat tak gambar ni? Kan? So these ants have the parasite. So parasite tu akan kawal behavior of this ant supaya ants ni go to the upper regions of the grass, okay, and then when the time definitive host eat this area, eat the grass, the ants will also be eaten. So dia nak sebab dalam ants ni dah ada parasite tu kan, so dia nak masukkan ke dalam definitive host tu, the alter behavior of these ants. Okay, so this is because of parasite called as Dicrosolium dendriticum. Okay, so look at this this life cycle. Okay, the life cycle is not so simple because it have two intermediate hosts. So this one, okay, first thing first. Okay, so this cow shed the feces, and feces contain these embryonic eggs. Okay, so embryonic eggs ingested by the snail. So snail is the first intermediate host. First, first okay, first intermediate host. So inside this snail, the eggs have transformed into miracidia and to sporocysts and to the cercariae. So this cercariae later will be released in the slime of the snail, okay, and this cercariae will be eaten by the ant as the second intermediate host. So inside the ants, the cercariae will develop into metacercariae. Okay, so ants tu dah ada metacercariae, so ants tu yang akan dimakan oleh definitive host, either human accidentally or this ruminants, okay, ataupun kita panggil grazing animals. So the adults will be situated at the bile ducts. Dia bukan dekat dalam liver tapi dekat bile ducts, so berdekatan lah. So this is the same. Sikit. Sama saja. So look at the diagnosis. How to diagnose this parasite? Identification of eggs in the stool. As usual, we need to find their eggs in the stool or duodenal fluids. If eggs are found only in stool, it could represent spurious passage following the ingestion of infected animal liver. Additional specimens should be collected to confirm a true infection. So maksudnya sekarang ni kita kena buat dua-dua lah. Maksudnya identification of eggs in stool ataupun kita kena ambil juga duodenal aspirate ni. Okay. Treatment is praziquantel. Praziquantel is commonly worm ubat cacing. Okay. And benzimidazole in domestic animal. So untuk domestic animal, we need to combine these two drugs, praziquantel and benzimidazole. Okay. So this is how the eggs looks like. Dicrosolium dendriticum. Itu kan nama dia. Dicrosolium dendriticum. Alright, so next species we have family Hematosolidae, which is the parasite of frogs and toads lung. Species name Hematococcus mediflexus. So this one is not so popular. So I will just fast forward this one. But it involves frogs, bukan human. Alright. Third species is Prostogonimus marcoquis. This one is fourth species apa ni? Birds. So this one you baca sendirilah yang ni. Okay, this one I want to highlight this. This species is Paragonimus westermani, the lung flux. Alright, I need to charge my laptop. Sekejap ni. Sini pun okey lah sebenarnya, lighting okey. Tak elok charger bawah ni. Elok je kan?
Malam okey, lepas tu tadi saya tengok dia macam tak masuk saya punya charge.
Tapi ada ni okey kot. Saya off dulu wifi. Dia tak keluar lampu kat sini. Supposed keluar lampu. Okey dah keluar. Okey, continue. Paragonimus westermani is a lung flux in humans and animals. So this is the structure of adults of this parasite. It is oval, thick flux with a spiny tegument. Maksudnya dekat outer covering ni dia ada macam duri-duri halus. And this is the parasite of lung. It can be at lung, intestine, nasal passages, cranial cavities, and also various ectopic locations in birds and mammals. But originally it first is lung lah. From lung to the travel ke another organs. So this lung flux in humans and animal sizes is 7.5 millimeter times by 4 mm. So this is very large because we can see with the naked eyes. And thickness is about 3.5 mm. It has a reddish brown colors and tegument is covered by scale-like spine. So tegument tu maksudnya dia punya kulit lah, outer covering. Alright, so look at their sorry, sekejap Okay. So look at their life cycle. Okay. Alright, first kali kat mana? Ni, okay. An embryonated eggs is passed in the feces. So highlight kat sini, dipaskan dalam bentuk unembryonated eggs, and then when it met with the water, okay, transform into embryonated eggs, and then into the miracidia. Okay. Okay, So from embryonic eggs, it hatch in the miracidia will hatch and penetrate the snail. Sebenarnya from daripada eggs ni keluar miracidia, ni kita dah tahu. Miracidia dah have very small cilia, okay, and then it will penetrate their first intermediate host, which is the snail, okay. So inside the snail, they have developed into the sporocyst, radii, and cercare, right, and then cercare will enter the second intermediate host, which is crustacean, okay. So when humans ingesting inadequately cooked or pickled crustacean that contain metascare, they will be infected. So inside the second intermediate host, cercare invade the crustacean and ensis into metascare. Cercare bertukar menjadi metascare dalam second intermediate host. Tadi ni ada cercare. Okay. So the flow chart dia sebenarnya, sekejap lukis sikit. Susah lah macam ni. Okay, I try. Okay. So first we have eggs. Okay. Eggs sudah dalam bentuk apa? Unembryonic lah. So when it comes in contact with water, it will develop into embryonic. Okay. So then embryonic will release miracidia, kan? Ini tulisan. Okay, I tulis pendek je lah, mira. Okay. And then from miracidia or miracidium, it will penetrate the first intermediate host. So inside first intermediate host, it will develop into the cercare. Okay. Kenapa dia bulatkan radii tu? Spesies sebelum ni ada yang tak ada radii, dia terus jadi cercare ataupun metascare. Okay, so from cercare, infect the second intermediate host. Okay. Abaikan gambar tu. Ataupun saya kena lukis dekat tempat lain sebenarnya. Tak apalah, nantilah. Second intermediate host. So when it enters second intermediate host, it terus transform menjadi metascare. Okay. Untuk saya kena buka pen ni. Next slide ya. So from metascare, okay, human ingest this metascare yang ada dalam second intermediate host. So once inside the definitive host, what happen? They will undergoing excistation at the duodenum, and then from the duodenum, adult in cystic cavities in lung lay eggs which are excreted in sputum. Alternately, eggs are swallowed and passed with stool. So daripada duodenum, dia travel pergi dekat lung. Okay. So dekat lung, dia akan mengeluarkan telur lah, laying eggs, and then the eggs can be expelled through the sputum. Ni sputum, kahak, kalau kita batuk kan. And then ada, kalau kita tak buang batuk tu, kahak tu, kita akan telan. So the sputum with the eggs will enter the intestine and pass with stool. That's how the eggs are being excreted from human in human feces. Okay. So another life cycle, the similar life cycle. So eating uncooked ataupun raw ataupun pickle diterjerukkan crustacean is not good Okay. This one apa dia ni? Okay. Copepod, ni tahu kan Copepod decapod ni is a small crustacean that can be found in sea and nearly every freshwater habitats. Meanwhile, decapods are lobster shrimps that have 10 legs joined to a segment. So these are the host, the intermediate host. Okay. So then these species, this disease are called as paragonimiasis. Ni kita panggil ni. Okay. And then paragonimiasis is an infection caused by lung flukes of the genus Paragonimus. In Asia, P. westermani infection are relatively common because of dietary practices. Okay, kenapa? Like to eat raw manifestation. However, in North America, cases of paragoniasis which are caused by P. calicothi flukes are rare. So dekat bahagian Amerika dia P. calicothi, not P. westermani. Okay. So this is the life cycle of Paragonimus. Okay, once again, life cycle. Alright, so we have two phases for this species, acute phase and chronic phase. As usual, acute ni yang paling cepat lah kita boleh nampak. Invasion and migration may be marked by diarrhea, abdominal pain, fever, cough, urticaria, hepatosplenomegaly, pulmonary abnormalities, and eosinophilia. Okay, so this is during acute phase. Next, we are moving to the chronic phase. So during chronic phase, pulmonary manifestation include cough, expectoration of discolored sputum, hemoptysis, and chest radiographic abnormalities. So waktu kronik ni dah start batuk-batuk lah, dan ada kahak yang ada ache dalam tu. Extra pulmonary location of the adult swarm result in severe manifestation, especially when the brain is involved. Okay, so boleh pergi dekat selain daripada lung. Okay, sorry. Next, it can also lead to condition of hematemesis, which is the vomiting of blood. So dah batuk berdarah. Hemoptysis or hemoptysis is the expectoration, coughing up of blood or blood-stained sputum from the bronchi, larynx, trachea or lungs. Example in tuberculosis or other respiratory infection or cardiovascular pathologies. So maksudnya host tu dia dah start batuk, berdarah, kahak dia ada darah. So actually dalam kahak tu ada X lah. Like this one untuk case TB lah, lebih kurang macam tu. So how to diagnose? Okay, how can we differentiate? Okay, ataupun diagnose lah. Okay, jap. Diagnosis is based on microscopic demonstration of eggs in stool, as usual, in stool and sputum. Okay, but eggs are not present until 2 to 3 months after infection. Eggs are also occasionally encountered in effusion fluid or biopsy material. Concentration technique may be necessary in patients with lung infection, and this biopsy may allow diagnostic confirmation and species identification when an adult or developing flukes is recovered. So eggs of Paragonimus westermani kita nampak dia ada operculum kat sini. This one in lung biopsy of P. calicothi, bentuk lebih kurang sama. This one also taken from lung biopsy. Okay, treatment sama macam previously punya flukes, praziquantel. Bithionol is an alternative drugs for treatment of this disease. Okay, so sekarang ni you dah belajar 3 species. The first one tadi Dicrosolium dendriticum yang dekat semut. Second, Paragonimus westermani, lung flukes, the largest lung flukes. And now we are looking at the third species is the Chronosis sinensis, ataupun kita panggil Chinese liver flukes. Okay, Chinese Oriental liver flukes ni pun selalu juga keluar exam. So the structure is like this. Okay, delicate leaf-shaped flukes with weakly developed suckers. So kalau you tengok betul-betul gambar ni, if you look properly, this structure, so the one that we can clearly see here is the uterus, and this is the genital pole with and ventral suckers, and up beside here we have yolk glands, ovary, seminal receptor, and this is the testis. Nampak jelas And the tegumen lacks spine. Maksudnya dekat outer covering dia tak ada duri-duri macam Paragonimus westermani. Male reproductive consists of two large branch testes. Yang ni lah. Mature in bile ducts. Okay. So this is Chinese liver fruit. So kita boleh nampak perbezaan telur dia kejap lagi. So life cycle similar with Paragonimus westermani except that the second intermediate host is not the crustacean but freshwater fish. Okay. That eaten by the host raw lah. Kita makan raw ya. Okay, so bila dia masuk dalam badan, dia akan pergi ke bahagian mana? Ni. Excitation in duodenum and adults will stay at the biliary ducts. Ni yang tu the liver lah, yang bagi hijau ni. Okay, this one. Worms mature and produce eggs. Okay. Eggs pass in feces into water. Miracidium hatches from eggs infects first intermediate host, which is the snail, and then from the snail, Cercare exit and enter the second intermediate host, which is the fish, and then Cercare penetrate the skin of a fish and seize in the fish muscle as metacercare, and metacercare are eaten by human, raw or undercooked fish. So definitive host is human. Okay. So cause a disease, name Phononsis sinensis. Okay. The most pathologic manifestation result from inflammation and intermittent obstruction of the biliary duct. So disebabkan adults to stay at the biliary ducts, so biliary ducts to become tersumbat, okay, congested with the adults in the acute phase. Okay, ni waktu paling cepat kita boleh nampak acute phase. Abdominal pain, nausea, diarrhea and eosinophilia can occur. Eosinophilia ni apa? Kurang darah merah. And then in long-standing infection ataupun chronic infection, cholangitis, which is the inflammation of bile ducts, cholelithiasis, gallstone formation, batu karang, okay, pancreatitis and cholangiocarcinoma. This is one type of cancer. Can develop which may be fatal. So this is untuk yang kita panggil chronic infection lah. Okay. Yang ambil masa lama. Tulisan. Sorry, maafkan saya. Okay. Alright, so how to diagnose? As usual, microscopic demonstration of eggs. So the structure of these eggs, okay, they have something that is very special here. We call that macam ada tanduk sikit kat situ. Operculum memang ada, tapi dia special sikit. Kalau kita tengok, kalau saya lukis balik, it become like this. Okay, kita lukis. Okay, and then ni atas ni dia macam ada cheat sikit. Tu dia ada operculum. Kalau you nampak structure macam ni, yang ni, yang bentuk dia oval, confirm lah dia adalah Phononsis sinensis ataupun Chinese liver fruit. Treatment we use as usual praziquantel or albendazole. Praziquantel tu memang selalu kita guna dia untuk cacing. Alright, this one the two species. Ini lagi extra additional species lah. Sama juga, tapi it affects the parasite of fish eating mammals. Binatang yang makan ikan. Fish eating mammals, macam burung ke. Okay. So infection can be easily avoided by men not eating. Not eating raw fish. Since this is the only way the infection can be passed. This is known as opisthosis. Okay. Last sekali kita ada heterophyes, which is the small intestine flukes Alright, so this one kita nak highlightkan dia punya structure. So if you look at the structure of this parasite, tengok ya, ni bentuk ni, dia macam teardrops. Okay, so this is a very tiny, this family is a tiny teardrop shape of flukes, okay, minor intestinal flukes that mature in small intestine of fish eating birds, sorry, dalam burung yang makan ikan and mammals. Okay, the sizes is very small compared to the previous and Paragonimus. Entire body covered with slender scales, slender scale. Tapi kita tengok kat sini, dia punya organ semua tertumpuk kat bahagian bawah. Kalau you compare with the previous species, kalau tengok dia distributed kan, dia ada branch testis. But for heterophis, dia punya structure of this parasite is the organs tu dia concentrated dekat bahagian posterior ni, semua kat sini. Okay. So apa yang beza di life cycle ni dengan life cycle parasite lain? Sama saja, cumanya yes, similar. They have additional of the definitive host lah, pertambahan this birds eating fish, cats also eating fish, this is dogs eating fish, this is human . So metasecare ensis in the small intestine, bukan dekat bile duct dah, memang target small intestine. Ducts also develop at small intestine, and then embryonic eggs each with a fully developed miracidia are passed in the feces. So memang dia target dia small intestine. Alright, eggs are passed in the host feces. The eggs are ingested by the first intermediate host. Parasite reproduce asexually and secari are liberated dalam snail. So secari keluar, penetrate second intermediate host, jadi metasecare. Okay, develop into metasecare, and then in metasecare, if the host eat this intermediate host that contain metasecare, the host will become infected lah by eating undercooked or raw fish. And the adult worms are found in the host small intestine. So dekat situ lah dia bertelur, and then eggs dia pun akan dikeluarkan dalam najis. So this parasite can be acquired by eating undercooked raw fish ataupun raw fish. Causes a disease known as heterophyiesis. Okay. The main symptoms are diarrhea and colicky abdominal pain. What is a colicky? Ni, dia dah beritahu definition dekat bawah. Severe pain, sakit bahagian abdomen. And the migration of the eggs to the heart resulting in potentially fatal myocardial and valvular damage. So maksudnya sekarang, eggs tu from the small intestine, okay, it will travel to the heart. So dia jadi myocardial punya problem, valve punya problem, and has been reported from the Philippines. Migration to other organs, example brain, has also been reported. Macam mana dia migrate? So eggs tu dia akan ikut, dia akan termasuk dalam circulatory system lah, dalam blood flow. So dia akan terpergi dekat organ-organ yang lain tu. Okay. How to diagnose? As usual, microscopic demonstration of the parasite in eggs and stool. This is normal for flukes. Okay, and however the eggs are indistinguishable from those of other two species that very similar to this species. Okay, so macam mana kita nak bezakan antara heterophis eggs dengan chronosis sinensis eggs? Okay. So this is chronosis sinensis egg, this is the operculum. So untuk heterophis egg, dia ada small operculum. Okay, bentuk dia lebih kurang sama, tapi dia macam gemuk sikit kan ni. Tapi sebenarnya susah juga. Kalau kita first dapat, kita nak differentiate tu agak payah. Looking at the size, kalau tengok size okay lah kot. Treatment, praziquantel. So you need to remember, untuk chapter 4 or final part 4 punya flukes ni, most of the drugs that used for treatment is praziquantel, and satu lagi tadi ada albendazole kot. Tengok balik . So raw fish infection, sushi bar. So avoid eating raw fish ataupun raw makanan laut lah, crustacean ke squid ke whatsoever tu avoid lah. At least you celur dia. Okay, makan yang dah masak. So raw fish infection can cause serious infection of flukes, cestodes and also nematodes. Okay, we only cover trematodes. Baru habis trematode ni, baru habis flukes. Ada lagi fish tapeworm, cestode and also nematode lah in the next slides, in the next subtopic. Alright, so you have to do these exercises. Okay, at your own lah. Cuba try, jawab dulu sendiri. So you need to remember, Opisthocus duduk kat mana? Paragonimus where? Fasciola, Fasciolopsis. Ini semua daripada part 1 sampai part 4 species ni. Okay, and also the kita boleh kata the source ataupun how the metasecare, from where we can acquire this infection, either from water, freshwater fish, freshwater crabs ataupun watercress. So remember, watercress tu adalah sejenis tumbuhan pucuk labu. Okay, so this one pun sama. You need to do, you kena jujur lah masa jawab soalan ni. Try jawab dulu So coronavirus sinensis ni dah keluar saya lepas, tak tahu lah saya ada lagi tentang. Okay, so this one dengan Paragonimus. Okay, which is which? This one, kalau dia concentrated kat bahagian bawah ni, dia adalah heteropis. Betul tak? Kalau yang ni. Yes, and also it have a teardrop structure. So this one is Paragonimus westermanni. Betul tak? Kehentam dia. Sorry, this is coronavirus. Kerana male reproductive consists of 2 large branch testes. Kalau Paragonimus macam mana? This one. This one is Paragonimus kan? Tengok bukan, salah juga. Alright, you have to be very careful. Saya pun salah. This one saya ingat heterophyes because we have this teardrop structure. And this one coronavirus sinensis kerana dia ada this testis kat hujung macam ni. Okay. And this one is Paragonimus because apa dia? Tak macam apa, tapi struktur dia ni nampak macam besar kan? Sebab saja paling besar. This is the dicrosodal dendriticum yang dekat semut tu. Okay. Lobe testis in the anterior of the body. Mana lobe testis ni? Ni. So we have finished this part 4 of flukes. Okay, so next lectures I hope I have the time to record the next lecture, cestodes. Okay, kita akan masuk cestode next lecture. Tapeworm. Cestodes adalah tapeworm. Flukes, trematodes adalah flukes ataupun flatworm. Alright, so I think that's all. Okay, thank you. See you later.